You have absolutely no interest in continuing to struggle financially, but you're also afraid that you will either have to leave more people behind or lose the connections and lose the friendships and family members that you love dear if you make more money. You've been feeling guilty for building wealth or having a better life than those you grew up with. And because of this, it has become very difficult for you to enjoy the success that you are having, that you are experiencing, and that you are now living, as well as making it difficult for you to relax and trust the path of wealth that is unfolding for you. Today, we're diving into the total solar eclipse that's happening and the Leo new moon energy that's here available to support you. And then we're going to dive into a bit of tarot therapy to take a look at the hidden path of wealth, money, and abundance that is actually opening up and unfolding for you during this time, especially with your current concerns of losing people and losing connections when it comes to making more money and having more success in your life and in your business. All right, my love, let's dive in. All right, so we've got a solar eclipse happening tomorrow, and baby, buckle in. This energy ain't nothing to play with, okay? This is sudden turning points, massive change, cosmic reboots, new beginning type shit, okay? Keywords are amplify, trigger, and shift, okay? Like major shift. So now the energetic impact of a solar eclipse time frame wise lasts about 6 to 18 months. So whatever you initiated, are initiating, have initiated, like, it's going to be amplified, okay? Now, the solar eclipse is also tied to your north and south nodes. So the energetic karma and dharma that you have sown, that you have, collectively put in motion, initiated, and whatever, loaded up. Those are the things that are going to be triggered. Now, the shifting portion of this is going to be external. So it's going to be the external shifts in your world, your reality, and your energy. This is where your manifestations are going to become more visible. You're going to see shifts in real world events, but also have, revelations. Revelations about or within your manifestations for money, love, business, success, abundance, whatever the hell it is you're trying to manifest right here, right now, within this 6 to 18 month time period, okay? So there's also going to be a lot of emotional processing externally. I know that sounds weird, but stick with me. But then there's also going to be a lot of change in direction as well. So essentially, you're going to have emotional clarity around different people, places, and things that you have been on the fence about. Like it's not going to be any more shuffling and sidestepping. Okay, it's going to be definitive, declarative, and no bullshitness type stuff. Okay, all of this is opening up a hidden path to manifesting and abundance for you. We're gonna dive into that in the tarot therapy session coming up here in just a moment. It's so funny because I keep being shown this image of, how what movie was that? So basically it's like you're at a mountain or some type of cliff or something like that has a lot of greenery around it and trees and stuff like that, like a forest, but it's a hidden path, and the path opens up, like the trees and the leaves and stuff like that of all of the greenery that you're standing in front of opens up when you walk up to it, like it's literally a hidden path. Stick with me. I know this shit is juicy, okay? Like it's wild. So right now, the new moon, speaking of new beginnings, the new moon is happening in Leo. This is the energy of I will, and it's also ruled by the sun. So your keywords this lunar cycle are confidence, creativity, open-heartedness, spontaneity, and to a certain degree courage, but we'll touch on that in a second. The sun, your willpower, purpose, identity, vitality, leadership, and ego are all coming into question, into perspective, and essentially being highlighted here. There's a very weighted lesson that you are learning and being initiated into this particular lunar cycle. It's not bad, it's just weighted, okay? And when we look at the chart for this particular transit, lunar transit, and solar eclipse, it's happening because Saturn, the position of Saturn, we're going to dive into that in a second, but the position of Saturn is essentially initiating and shifting you into a new level of maturity. And in order for that maturity to happen, your perspective has to change. Your positioning with different people, places, things, situations, and ideas also has to change. And that's what is happening here. But you also need to anchor yourself or be anchored into a certain level of confidence in order to proceed. So you're going to be good, but just stick with me. So again, kicking things off, we've got the sun and the moon conjunct, okay, happening in Leo. And so this means that the energies are intertwined, if I can get it out, and woven together. So this is where you're going to want to be mindful and intentional about how your routines, your habits, your behaviors, your actions, daily routines, right, are impacting your confidence, your sense of creativity, your sense of self-expression, and willpower to do things and get things done. But oddly enough, this is also looking at your receptivity and your ability to nurture as well as be nurtured while being in the spotlight, while having all eyes on you, while, you know what I'm saying, everybody is just paying attention to what you got going on. So the key focus is going to be your mental and emotional response. So paying attention to how your confidence is showing up in your body. Let me see, what questions did I write down? So you want to ask, what do you notice in your body? Where does confidence live, express itself, or retreat back into your body? So then we've got Saturn trine the moon, okay? And this is, again, harmonious support. But remember, this lunar cycle, Saturn is after maturity. It's after growth and change and shifting you to a new level of maturity. So this means that you're going to find support this lunar cycle in informed decisions, structure, boundaries, and the way that you are defining things or needing to redefine things so that it makes sense for who you are becoming. You're also going to find support through organization, either you and your sense of being organized, or a literal organization, or the way that you organize your thoughts and opinions when speaking to and confidently expressing yourself with others, right? But your sense of organization, as well as your personal authority by way of autonomy and your freedom to express yourself without being limited or without limitations. That's also where you're going to find your support this lunar cycle. Although we are talking about Leo energy, rushing about and hustling and bustling is not the name of the game. The name of the game is taking your time and doing it right. Take your time, do it right. You can do it, baby. I know, Gemini brain, don't mind me. Anyway, the name of the game is going to be taking your time and doing your research. Okay, so again, the decisive or informed decisive decisions. Okay, the more that you can express your needs, your boundaries, and make your goals non-negotiable, the more success and abundance you are going to experience this lunar cycle. Now, with both Jupiter and Mercury also sitting in Leo, this lunar cycle, you are going to be stretched beyond what you thought was possible, what you've been used to, all that, okay? It's going to be one of them bend them like Beckham type of moments, okay? So this shift is happening with your perspective, your views on life, and the way that others do or don't perceive you in relation to your wealth, your material wealth, your emotional wealth, your spiritual wealth, all the things. You'll also likely experience a lot of talk around what you do or don't do. But it'll be without any real substance because they don't have access to you, your energy, or the information that you used to share so openly before or prior to going through this, again, initiation or energetic initiation, if you will, with the solar eclipse and the moon or the new moon being in Leo. Now, what's also interesting here is that Mercury and Jupiter are also in opposition to Pluto, which is in retrograde, but sextile to Uranus. So there's going to be a lot of foggy type elusive shit happening, okay? It's kind of like the gossip happening around this talk that's happening without any real basis or substance. The lines are going to be blurred to the point where what was intended to stain your reputation or make people start doubting and questioning and looking at you funny, instead is going to work to your benefit and indirectly lead to more abundance and success for you. Like it's it's very interesting, but quirky at the same time. So it's literally like this energy where other people's misunderstandings and misconceptions of you lead them to put other people, places, things, situations in motion to support you indirectly and directly. Like, it's quirky. Now with Pluto in retrograde and Uranus at play here with this lunar energy, be mindful of the identities that you choose to wear in relation to your wealth and the wealth that you've accumulated. While I was writing out my insights and everything for this particular lunar energy update, Spirit gave me, or what I was hearing was, laugh now, cry later, and hidden faces where care isn't taken. So this isn't to scare you, but rather to caution you where the ego is concerned. So essentially that you don't get too cocky, if you will, or see yourself as untouchable. Again, Saturn is here, like initiating maturity, and a lot of times when you veer off into that direction and swerve left, right, you find yourself in an unnecessary world of trouble that could have been avoided had you not taken yourself so seriously, but also not seeing yourself as above it all, right? Like, again, like as untouchable, because you're not. It's just a matter of you have wisdom and experience that allows you to see beyond the foolishness that's happening at a 3D level, or that everybody else is so caught up in. It's not that you necessarily better than them, but you just have a different perspective. But that perspective doesn't make you untouchable. It just makes you well informed and more prosperous in terms of being able to navigate and more protected. Now, in some situations, that get back and level up is gonna feel good, right? The best revenge is your paper, as Beyonce say, but enjoy it, yes, but don't become blindsided by it. You essentially just want to keep your wits about you, okay? This also means that you want to be mindful of how much you're able to lean into the truth of who you are and still be able to navigate the success that you wear. So maintaining your morals, your values, your sense of purpose, and the things that you value and that add value to your life without necessarily becoming someone who values things over people. So now we also got South Node and Virgo energy weighing in this lunar cycle as well. So you are going to want to be mindful of moments of where you notice your energy contracting, and mark those as checkpoints or points in which, or moments in which you can check in with yourself, but not lead with the contracted energy. So the stress or the anxiety or the agitation or the because like I keep seeing a hand do this, and so it's kind of like anxious and antsy type energy, or overstimulated is a better description of what this energy feels like right now. Other things that I have written down here are constricting your energy and contracting away from the spotlight or being seen, will essentially work against you this lunar cycle. Okay, so you want to be mindful of that and understand that the lesson is rooted in building your confidence with being seen in your material wealth, especially with Chiron sitting in Taurus at 0 degrees. Okay, a degree of early education and new experience and new skill building. Remember, this is a solar eclipse, so it's a lot of unexpected change, massive change, and shifting happening on a energetic level, an external level, but also an emotional level, because we're talking about shifting your perspective, your life and world view perspective. Essentially, all this means that this is something very new for you, if not just very different from what you are used to and what you have known and have been raised to express. And so this is essentially an opening up, a blooming of your energetic core and flower to be able to be seen and feel confident being seen in the wealth and success that you are being led into, initiated into, and finding yourself becoming a leader and steward of. Okay, so Yeah. All right, my love, let's go ahead and dive into some tarot therapy and see what hidden path of wealth and abundance is opening up for you this lunar cycle. Yeah, so it's going to be some type of activity or experience that you're not used to, or that you have been putting off, or have never tried before but have been curious in lately and just haven't taken the initiative, if you will. More importantly, though, this particular path is going to be about teaching you how to slow down and how to have more patience, not only with yourself, but with your circumstances leading up to the unfolding of this new status of wealth and becoming within this realm of manifesting this particular life and lifestyle for you, for yourself. There is a bit of hesitance or hesitation, if you will, with essentially owning your power, and because it's not that you don't understand your power, understand the impact that you have on other people or your presence on other people. It's that you are being humble, and being humble is not a compliment. It's not anything to strive towards. To be humble means to minimize your capabilities, your abilities, and your power and who you are for the sake of what? That doesn't benefit anybody except for the person trying to keep you small so they can feel big, and dim your light so they can feel recognized as a result. And that doesn't help anybody, not even that individual. Okay, so this particular path is going to require you to have more confidence in your own impact without shying away. Like, the confidence needs to come out of the closet, essentially. So like, stop being confident when it's just you and only you, but leaning into that same confidence and expressing it without guilt, without shame, without hesitation, without limiting yourself to quote unquote protect others and their ego, and just allowing yourself to be exactly as you are, fully and wholeheartedly expressed. Okay, you are going to be unrecognizable to a lot of the people and acquaintances, families, friends, even significant others that you are currently dealing with. And you may often hear that you changed, which is how you know you're on the right track. Change and transformation and evolution is the whole point. You're supposed to be growing, right? And learning from your life experiences each and every day. It doesn't necessarily mean it has to be something dramatic and drawn out. I mean, we are talking Leo energy here, so maybe it is dramatic. I don't know. Maybe it is over the top and extra and expressed. So be it, right? But it's really growth is the point. Okay, growth and expansion is the point. And so you've got situations where along this path you're going to be networking, and essentially where your network is expanding, I should say, and you're going to be connected in ways you never knew or thought was possible. There's also going to be a declaration, if you will, of taking time out for yourself more often than not, and saying no, and relishing within the joy of missing out, relishing in the joy of pouring back into yourself, and being very selective, extremely selective with who has access to you, when they have access to you, and how often and in what capacity they have access to you. This is also especially with I'm a temple here, holy, divine, sacred. So you're starting to see yourself as divine, as sacred, as something that is worthy of being nourished and nurtured by your environment, by the people, places, things, situations, and experiences that you agree to or choose to entertain. Okay, and so along this particular path of this hidden path of wealth, abundance, and money, you're also learning how to surrender. And so what you don't realize is that the more you surrender, the more abundant and more wealth and more money you're coming into and coming in contact with, especially with the creation card here. We have inception, genius, and manifestation. And with surrender, we have trust your higher self. And so the more that you lean into this easy life, or this soft life, I should say, this softer life, softer way of being and handling yourself and caring for yourself, the more you're going to see your manifestations, your money, your wealth, your business begin to expand for you and through you and with you, and in connection with you. And I say in connection with because we've got mycelium here. So there's interdependence and support for life. Okay. So this is where you're going to start to see yourself as well as your business and your overall foundation for wealth as a whole begin to thrive a lot more and become a lot more stable than what you've been used to, than what you've been experiencing or grew up with as a kid or as a child. Okay, let's see. I see. So the other thing here is we have the unknown, and so there's a certain aspect of uncertainty that you are going to actually be called to use for creation in order to manifest. And so instead of freaking out when things feel uncertain, because it is going to be extremely different from what your nervous system knows and is used to, right? Like there's just this situation where you've never been able to rest and relax without feeling guilt or shame for having done so or for doing so. And within this new realm or way of being, this is experience along this path, it's gonna feel very unfamiliar, and because of that unfamiliarity, you may experience something like anxiety or constantly being on edge, feeling like there's something you should be doing, but at the same time there isn't anything literally on your schedule to do. And so instead of finding ways to get busy, Spirit is saying to find ways to embrace creation, to express yourself, to get creative. So lean into the creativity instead of the productivity. Okay. All right. Let's get some tarot. Here we go. Cards. Let's see what we got. We've got the Four of Wands. So that's harmony. We've got the Hermit. Yeah, there's going to be a lot more seclusion and isolation, like I was saying before, in regards to essentially how you are giving people access to you, your time, your energy, your money, your connections of wealth, and just really being very much so intentional about the way you handle yourself and allow other people in your world. You're essentially carving out your own little, well, not little, but your own world here that is in a lot of ways disconnected from the world that you currently know or have recently known up to this point. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of disassociation happening. And it's not necessarily out of anger or, massive falling out with other people. It's just understanding and recognizing that the connection is no longer there. Right? We've got the Two of Cups. Okay. Then we've got the Fool. So this, again, like I've been saying, is a brand new experience that is taking place and that is happening within this particular path for you. And again, it's going to take a lot of patience with yourself, because this is a drastic change, and it is one that is inevitable. Like there isn't anything you can say, do, be, have, figure out to avoid it. Like it's happening. We have the Tower here, okay? And so this change is happening. What I'm being shown right now is you sitting with a book reading. And so that's my signal for self-development, right? So you've been pouring a lot of time and energy and curiosity, if you will, into understanding yourself on a different level and from different perspectives. And so because of this, you no longer resonate with the same morals, values, and ideas as the people that you're currently around, or that you most recently used to be around and spend all of your time with. And so because of that, this new path of wealth, money, and abundance is opening up to you, because you're now seeing different resources and different tools and different connections, if you will, and different pathways and stones to turn over that had money hidden up under them, that had long-term success hidden up under them, that had access to different people, places, things, and new experiences, and even situations, for better or for worse, that will lead you down a more abundant path of access to money, access to wealth, long-term stable financial security, and wealth building. And it's completely different than what you, again, have been taught and have seen growing up. Let's get some more cards here. All right, let's see. We've got the Ruler of Wands. Yeah, this is something that you are not going to see coming, and not because the signs aren't there, but specifically because it's completely different from what you've been experiencing. And it's also this energy here of other people not understanding the vision, not being able to see what you see, and you need to understand that that is okay, and to still treat yourself as a temple and still shine your light and express this new way of being, because even though they won't agree, even though they may not understand, you'll still be activating them by activating yourself. It's not activating yourself so they can be activated. It's inevitable that they will be activated because you're activated and you're within proximity to them. This is why it's so freaking important for you to be mindful and intentional about who you give access to you and where you allow yourself to be present and show up, because your presence has an impact. It doesn't matter who you are, what you're doing, what's going on, what the problem is, what the situation is, what your human design type is, what your human design empath type is. Like, it don't matter what the fuck going on, how it's going on, how it's going down. Your presence has an impact, okay? And so depending on your own energetic wiring and energetic makeup, okay, so your cosmic blueprint of how your specific energy works, what your specific energetic role and scope of practice is, when you show up, you are impacting people in a very specific and unique way that they just simply cannot get from being around somebody else, because the experience is completely different with another soul. Okay, so again, this is why it's so freaking important for you to be mindful of and intentional with who has access to your presence, because it's not just you hanging out, it's them getting access to clarity, to to your way of thinking, your perspective, and your view on the world, to your problem solving capabilities. Like, and this is me now just naming stuff that I personally am aware of, that I bring to people. Like, one of my strongest gifts is emotional clarity. And for whatever reason, whatever is going on, or whatever the problem is, it doesn't matter what it is, simply me being present, I don't have to say a word, but simply me being present provides emotional clarity. And emotional clarity is a very powerful thing, because it locks wealth and abundance and money at massive magnitudes, and it's long-term and long-lasting, okay? Especially when you're talking about business and you're talking about relationships and connections. Like, my energy is very good at connecting people, places, things, ideas, especially in situations that can integrate and harmonize and balance each other out to create more money, to create more abundance, more financial wealth and stability. So you have to be careful with who has access to that type of energy, because people will definitely try to manipulate it and harvest it and siphon it and monopolize it for themselves. And so yours may not be emotional clarity, yours may be something else entirely. Okay, you can always look to your human design chart, your astrology chart, or any other I want to say healing modality, metaphysical tool and resource, like numerology or to my numerology. Even tarot will help you uncover that. Like it just literally depends. Gene keys, the enneagrams, what's the other one? The Matrix Destiny, or whatever it's called. Like there are so many different mediums for you to access and get your cosmic blueprint. All that matters is that you pick the one that has the language that you understand and that makes sense to you. Okay, my point is you have to be intentional about who has access to you, because you are not a run-of-the-mill type of soul. You just ain't. Okay, and a lot of people are going to feel some type of way because they don't have that access to you anymore, and that's a personal problem. It's not yours. Your job is to maintain the portal, is to keep the portal clean, sacred, and clear, so that your manifestations, your abundance, your money, your business success, your loving and healthy and non-toxic relationships can come in without a hitch, can come in without delay, can come in without any type of problem. Okay, all right, look at there, we've got the sun. Okay, sun came out in reverse, so let's go ahead and get a little bit more clarity on that. I just heard hesitation. Yep, Six of Swords, scared to move on, scared to leave people behind. But I'm going to tell you now, you either leave the people behind that do not resonate, because everybody can't, what Michelle Obama talk about, everybody not able to make the climb and breathe at those higher altitudes. You either, this gonna sound harsh, but you either drop the dead weight or find yourself unhappy, stressed, anxious, depressed, staying in a place that does not support you, your well-being, or who you are, the truth of who you are. Okay, we got the Nine of Swords in reverse. So this is your calling to step forward, to move ahead, and to keep going. We got the Six of Swords there, you got the Eight of Swords, and to step out of victim mentality. You already know that this is inevitable and that this has been coming for a long time. It's just been difficult to make the decision because you've had so much time, energy, and effort, and in some cases money invested. But I'm going to tell you now, just because you've been in a relationship, romantic, platonic, or otherwise, just because you've known somebody for eons, okay, does not mean that they are still aligned with who you have become and who you are becoming. Sometimes you got to recognize when a connection is a leaf, when it's a branch, and when it's the tree trunk. Okay? Some people are there for a season. Some people are only there for a reason. And then some people are only there for a lifetime. Okay? So do not count yourself out, and do not deny yourself this financial freedom, this financial stability, this wealth, this opportunity to build wealth in such a loving and intentional and carefree way, right? Let's see. We've got the Four of Cups. So here again, afraid to walk away, but there's also a disinterest. I think that's the word. Lack of interest. Lack of interest in staying where you are, but again, afraid of, look at there, Two of coins in reverse. Afraid that it is going to lead to some sort of imbalance in your daily life. But I'm going to tell you now, that's the whole point. Remember, we talked about in the Lunar energy update aspect or part of this video, that Saturn is in full effect this lunar cycle. I mean, she's always there, but she has a specific role this lunar cycle to kind of shake some shit up and help you mature. And so part of that maturation is you recognizing and understanding when it's time to let go, when it's time to surrender the old life for the new one, the old way of being for the new one that you're asking for, that you so heavily crave and desire, right? And it's not about having to give up something to get something new. It's simply about alignment. It's simply about understanding what is supporting who you are and the things that you have and the person you have to be to get the things that you want and experience the things that you want versus what is not supportive of that. And sometimes that means releasing and letting go of old connections, friendships, romantic, platonic, otherwise, like whatever type of relationship. Sometimes it means letting go or losing a job. Sometimes it means moving to a new city, state, country. Sometimes it means changing your hair, cutting your hair. Sometimes it means learning how to do your makeup. Sometimes it means going to bed earlier than you normally do, making sure that you get more hours of sleep. Like, it could literally be the smallest of things to the seemingly most challenging of things. It's all about perspective, but at the end of the day, at the root of the matter, it's simply about what supports who you have to be, the person you have to become, the identity that you need to embody in order to have the experiences that you want to have. That's all it is. It's just energy. That's it. It's just energy. Okay? We got the Seven of Wands. So this is something that you need to release fighting. Okay? The more that you fight this, the harder it's going to be for you to catch your balance and for you to get your footing. This path is opening up whether you want it to or not. You're being put along this path whether you want to be put along it or not. What's going to dictate whether or not this path unfolds the way that we are looking at now is whether or not you continue to fight yourself and the experience of softness and the experience of gentleness, allowing gentleness within and about the self, which is my personal definition for stillness. Okay? All right. Look there. And then we've got the Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups. Okay. The solution to your current fear of walking away and being honest about your lack of interest in the circumstance, the relationship, the job, the business that you are currently in, whatever situation there it may be, take what resonates, leave the rest, right? Whatever disinterest you currently have, the solution is you being honest about it and actually walking the fuck away. The sooner the better. Okay? Whatever walking away looks like for you, the sooner the better. Okay? Because otherwise, you're not gonna miss this path because it's yours. Again, whether you want it to be or not. So you're not gonna miss it, but it is not gonna be as fruitful as it could be, as it's trying to be, as it wants to be for you, because everything is riding on your willingness and your willpower to surrender. It's so funny how we're in Leo season and the moon is in Leo and this solar eclipse is happening in Leo, where this energy is of new beginnings and massive shifts and changes and just essentially a complete upheaval of whatever has been initiated within the last 6 to 18 months, right? So it's just a complete turning of everything on its head so that you can have this life, so that you can have this wealth, this money, this abundance that you've been asking for and trying so desperately, so hard to create and manifest. Okay? All right, let's see. Maybe pull 1 or 2 more cards. And then we will call it a day. And I'm actually gonna pull some crystal grid cards for you to get you basically an energy boost here to help you out along the way and make this shift. Okay, maybe a different crystal deck. Oh, I was gonna say, look at there. Look it up. I can't make it up if I wanted to, okay? We've got compassion. And then it looks like the crystal is ajoite, A-J-O-I-T-E, ajoite or ajoite. But take a second and really tune into this particular crystal grid. And just maybe, as long as you're in a safe space to do so, take a moment of silence to yourself to take a few deep breaths in. And then exhale. Inhale. And then exhale. One more time, inhale. And now exhale. And remind yourself that it is safe for you to be on this path. It is safe for you to be intentional with your energy and access to your energy, your emotions, the benefits and perks that come with your presence and your energy. It is safe for you to have this new experience and explore this new way of being that goes against everything that you've ever been taught, everything that you ever necessarily seen growing up as options, or just within your surroundings as options. Is essentially a type of culture shock, wealth-wise, financial abundance-wise, and financial security-wise, but it's a welcome one. Okay, let's see if we could. Yep, look at there. Look at that. That's so dope. That's so freaking dope. We've got fun. Oh, it's two here. Wait. It's two here. Look at there. Channel and fun. Okay, so we've got black phantom quartz and we've got orange calcite. Okay, so again, tap into these energies and allow them to guide you when you feel uncertain. Allow them to ground your energy when you feel anxious, and just allow yourself the freedom and the autonomy to be creatively expressed, however that looks and manifests itself for you. But allow yourself to fully show up and fully be present as or in your entirety. Okay, fully present. All right, my love, that is it for today. If you have any questions, comments, go ahead and comment below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And if you want a personal reading for manifesting, if you're struggling to manifest and want a way to understand how to receive your manifestations faster, book an energy reading for abundance with me. Okay, this is a reading where we look at your energy to see exactly what's keeping you blocked and stuck from being able to manifest, why it's happening, so you can break the cycle. And then we look at what needs to specifically shift for your specific situation or your unique situation so that you can manifest and get the money, have the business success, and have the healthy relationship that you want, if it's a relationship that you want instead of the money in the business. Okay, whatever it is you're trying to manifest, that is what that reading is for, to help you remove the emotional blocks and patterns keeping you stuck from being able to have and live the life that you desire. Okay, all right, my love, I will see you in the next reading. Bye.